Hello, welcome to Cannabis Use and Prevention in Youth presentation. My name is Rita Rasuli, Prevention Coordinator with San Joaquin County Office of Education. Cannabis has gained significant attention in recent years due to evolving legal landscapes and shifting societal attitudes. As we navigate this topic, it's important to explore not only the trends and statistics surrounding youth cannabis use, but also the potential impacts on health, education, and overall well-being. Throughout this presentation, we will examine the reasons why young individuals may turn to cannabis, the risks associated with its use during critical stages of development, and most importantly, effective strategies for prevention and intervention. By understanding these dynamics, we can work together to support our youth, promote healthier choices, and build resilient communities. Cannabis, also known as marijuana, is the most used federally illegal drug in the United States. Cannabis or marijuana refers to the dried leaves, flowers, and seeds and stems from the Cannabis sativa or Cannabis indica plant. This plant contains the chemical THC and other similar compounds which are known to alter the mind. The most common methods of marijuana consumption includes smoking through hand-rolled cigarettes, vaping, and incorporating marijuana into edibles by mixing it into food. The Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, or SAMHSA, reports that in 2022, about 42.3 million people aged 12 years or older reported marijuana use in the previous month. The percentage for marijuana vaping in that month among current marijuana users was highest among adolescents aged 12 to 17. That's about 54.9%. In an article posted by the CDC, we can examine cannabis use among students in the United States. In 2022, 30.7% of 12th graders reported using cannabis in the previous year, and 6.3% reported daily cannabis use during the previous month. In that same study, it was found that 15% of 10th graders reported cannabis use within the past year, as well as 6% of 8th graders during that same time frame. Risk factors for cannabis use in youth can include peer influence. Peer pressure from peers who use cannabis can influence youth to try it. Second one is family environment. Lack of parental supervision or positive role models, as well as family history of substance use, can contribute. Mental health issues. Youth may use cannabis to cope with stress, anxiety, depression, or other mental health challenges. Accessibility. Easy availability of cannabis, either legally or illegally, can increase the likelihood of use. Perception of harm. If youth perceive cannabis as less harmful or socially acceptable, they may be more inclined to use it. Early initiation. Starting cannabis use at a young age increases the risk of developing problematic use patterns later. School environment. Academic stress, poor school performance, or disengagement can contribute to cannabis use. Socioeconomic factors. Lower socioeconomic status and neighborhood influences can play a role. Genetic vulnerability. Genetic factors may predispose some individuals to substance use disorders, including cannabis use disorder. Understanding these risk factors can help inform prevention efforts and interventions to reduce cannabis use among youth. Adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs, are stressful or traumatic experiences that occur during childhood. People who report adverse childhood experiences are more likely to report drug misuse. Those who report 5 or more ACEs are 4 to 12 times more likely to become drug abusers. People with mental health disorders are more likely to have a substance use disorder than those who do not. Mental health and substance use disorders are commonly found to be co-occurring disorders. About half of those who have a mental illness will have a substance use disorder at some point. Also, half of those with substance use disorder will have a mental illness at some point. In 1 year alone, marijuana is thought to be contributed to more than 456,000 emergency room visits. Cannabis use has been associated with potential effects on the immune system, potentially leading to a weakening or suppression of immune function. Other effects of marijuana use include glassy and bloodshot eyes, dry mouth and throat, increased heart rate, and increased blood pressure. Inhaling marijuana smoke reduces the oxygen levels in your blood, requiring every part of your body to work harder to perform its functions effectively. Individuals who smoke marijuana are more prone to respiratory issues such as frequent coughs and colds. Also, they face an increased risk of developing bronchitis and pneumonia compared to non-users. Marijuana smoke contains many of the same carcinogenic chemicals found in tobacco smoke. Vaping marijuana can lead to severe lung damage as well. Regular, long-term marijuana use can lead some individuals to develop cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome, characterized by recurring episodes of severe nausea, vomiting, and dehydration that may require emergency medical intervention. Cannabis use can have short-term and long-term effects on the developing brain. Marijuana can alter your senses, changing how you experience sights, sounds, and touch, as well as altering sense of time, changes in mood, impaired body movement, and when taken in high doses, may also lead to hallucinations and delusions. When individuals start using marijuana during adolescence, the drug can hinder cognitive abilities such as thinking, memory, and learning, and impact the brain's ability to establish connections essential for these functions. Operating a vehicle under the influence of any substance, including cannabis, is both hazardous and against the law. Cannabis impairs crucial driving skills such as reaction time, coordination, and concentration, significantly compromising road safety. Driving while high more than doubles the risk of being in an accident. Marijuana is detected in the bloodstream of about 14% of drivers involved in fatal car accidents, frequently alongside alcohol or other substances. Cannabis use has been associated with various mental health issues, including depression and social anxiety. Individuals who use cannabis are at higher risk of experiencing temporary psychosis marked by hallucinations, paranoia, and a distorted sense of reality, as well as enduring mental disorders like schizophrenia, characterized by perceptual disturbances such as auditory or visual hallucinations. This link is stronger in those who initiate cannabis use at a younger age and use it more frequently. Increased frequency of marijuana use is predictive of future risky behaviors, including increased marijuana use and engagement in aggressive or delinquent behaviors. People who begin using marijuana before the age of 18 are 4 to 7 times more likely than adults to develop problem use. People who begin using cannabis at a young age are at a much higher risk for developing cannabis use disorder, as well as illicit drug use and addiction later on. About 3 in 10 people who use cannabis have cannabis use disorder. Roughly 10% of cannabis users are estimated to develop addiction. Signs of cannabis use disorder are using more cannabis than intended, trying but failing to quit using cannabis, spending a lot of time using cannabis, craving cannabis, using cannabis even though it causes problems at home, school, or work, continuing to use cannabis despite social or relationship problems, giving up important activities with friends and family in favor of using cannabis in high-risk situations such as while driving a car, continuing to use cannabis despite physical or psychological problems, needing to use more cannabis to get the same high. Long-term cannabis use can lead to lower life satisfaction, poorer mental health, diminished physical health, increased relationship difficulties, lower grades, lower IQ, and are more likely to drop out. Adolescents and young adults turn to marijuana for a variety of reasons, such as curiosity, peer influence, and a desire to belong. Others use it as a coping mechanism for anxiety, stress, and sometimes depression. Ultimately, the decision to use marijuana is influenced by factors within their home, school, and community environments. There is a decreasing perception of the risks associated with marijuana use among young people today, partly influenced by changes in state policies regarding legalization and recreational use. Despite legalization in several states, marijuana remains illegal at the federal level. Protective factors that can help youth avoid cannabis use include strong parental support and monitoring, positive relationships with parents who provide guidance, support, and monitoring of activities, healthy peer relationships, having friends who do not use drugs and promote healthy behaviors, good academic performance. Success in school and involvement in extracurricular activities can reduce the likelihood of substance use. Positive mental health, emotional resilience, effective coping skills, and access to mental health support. Community support, engaging in community activities and having positive role models outside the family. Clear attitudes against drug use, having strong personal beliefs or religious values against drug use. Knowledge about risks, understanding the negative consequences of cannabis use on health, academics, and relationships. Access to opportunities. Access to recreational and educational opportunities that promote healthy alternatives to drug use. Effective communication skills. Ability to communicate assertively and resist peer pressure to use drugs. These protective factors can help create a supportive environment that reduces the likelihood of youth engaging in cannabis use and promotes healthier choices. A significant key in preventing substance use in youth is to help them promote healthy coping skills. Self-help strategies should be tailored to fit the individual's needs to reduce stress. Get to know the youth. Ask questions like, what activities make you happy? What are some things that make you feel safe? Think about the availability and access when helping youth. Make a list of positive self-help strategies. Keep in mind that knowing the community is beneficial to help youth gain access to those resources. Some self-care strategies include regular exercise, regular healthy meals, staying hydrated, quality sleep, mindfulness, focusing on positivity, and in participating in enjoyable activities. Culture plays a significant role in a person's willingness to discuss substance use as well as getting help. It is also important to understand the cultural impact on the youth's perception of cannabis use. Local and national resources are available to help people who may be experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is a national hotline that is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to those in crisis. The number to call is 1-800-273-8255. 988 has been designated as the new 3-digit dialing code that will route callers to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. When people call, text, or chat 988, they will be connected to trained counselors that are part of the existing Lifeline network. These trained counselors will listen, understand how their problems are affecting them, provide support, and connect them to resources if necessary. The National Human Trafficking Hotline connects survivors and victims of labor and sex trafficking to resources that can help them find safety. The number is 1-888-373-7888. The Trevor Project is a 24/7 crisis intervention and suicide prevention for LGBTQ+ teens. Text START to 678-678. NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, is an organization whose purpose is to provide mental health support to those in need. Their helpline is available Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern. The phone number is 1-800-950-6264. Or text NAMI to 741-741 for free crisis counseling that is available 24/7. SAMHSA's National Helpline 1-800-662-HELP or 4357 is a confidential, free, 24-hour-a-day, 365-day-a-year information service in English and Spanish for individuals and family members facing mental and/or substance use disorders. This service provides referrals to local treatment facilities, support groups, and community-based organizations. FindTreatment.gov is a confidential and anonymous resource for persons seeking treatment for mental and substance use disorders in the United States and its territories. The Cannabis Awareness and Prevention Toolkit is an educational resource that can be adapted to fit the individual needs of educators and students in all types of settings, including elementary, middle, and high schools, community-based organizations, and health-related agencies. The Cannabis Awareness and Prevention Toolkit is a theory-based and evidence-informed educational resource created by educators and researchers aimed at preventing and delaying middle and high school students' use of cannabis for those who do not use, about 80% of youth across the U.S., and to encourage those who are using, about 20%, to cut back and/or quit. Smart Talk, Cannabis Prevention and Awareness Curriculum, which is part of the Stanford Cannabis Awareness and Prevention Toolkit, is a 5-lesson, theory-based, and evidence-informed curriculum created by the Stanford Reach Lab, the Youth Action Board, educators, healthcare providers, and scientists across the U.S. Smart Talk has curriculum available for elementary, middle school, and high school, and is available in Spanish. Healthy Futures Cannabis version is a curriculum that can be used as an educational opportunity in lieu of a suspension or as an educational support in addition to the suspension if your policies and/or procedures require a student to be suspended. This program is geared for students who have been caught using cannabis and/or cannabis products and for any students who are interested in trying to quit. This program is packed with a self-paced lesson, a group 2 or 4 hour teacher or counselor-led curriculum, quitting resources, and more. The California Healthy Kids Resource Center is a resource that is available to educators across California. This free lending library is available for educators to utilize within the classroom. Among other subject areas that promote health literacy, there are several curricula to choose from in cannabis use. Now it's time to test your knowledge. Using your phone or tablet, please scan the QR code to take you to the Google form for assessment. Once you have successfully completed the assessment, you will receive a certificate of completion in the email you provide. Thank you for watching this presentation on cannabis use and prevention in youth.